So I've got two phones here. Phone A, and I'll call the other one just Phone B. Same look from the front. Both running 120 hertz AMOLED displays, both powered by really cutting edge 3 nanometer chips. Phone A has an 8500 milliamp hour battery with 100 watt fast charging. Can charge a phone faster than most wall chargers. Phone B has a 4900 milliamp hour battery and 45 watt charging. Which one is the expensive flagship? If you said Phone A, congratulations, you're wrong. Phone B is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus at over $1,000, and Phone A is a video sponsor, POCO with their X8 Pro Max, and it costs less than $500. Before I tell you about POCO, because I'm guessing a lot of you maybe haven't heard about it, let me tell you something that can help you maybe get your own POCO phone. $500. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, letting me live my dream. Made it super easy. Tell me the first movie, the first game, the first show you would watch on your brand new POCO X8 series. You can enter once per day. I'm sure there's a way to contact you in the description. Give the video a thumbs up. Let this run for 10 days. Open to anyone in the world. Information will be down below. All right, so when POCO reached out to sponsor this video and sent me their X8 Pro Series, I knew a price gap like that doesn't happen without like trade-offs, right? And after a week of daily use, in all fairness, I found them. But the question I keep coming back to is the same one you should be asking. Is a phone that costs twice as much actually twice as good? And the big surprise answer is it's not. And I'll show you exactly why. But first, let me give you some context on who POCO actually is. A lot of folks in the US probably never heard of them. POCO is a sub-brand of Xiaomi, taking specs that should cost twice as much and selling them at a number that doesn't seem real. The X8 Pro Series, their latest sort of proof of that, and includes actually 3 phones. So there's the X8 Pro Max, the X8 Pro, and there's an Iron Man edition that I'll get to. I'm gonna spend most of my time talking about the Pro Max because it's kind of the most direct answer to that Samsung question at the beginning. Metal frame, fiberglass back, Gorilla Glass 7i on the front, IP68 and IP69K water resistance ratings that actually sort of clear what Samsung put on their S25 Plus. There's a red accent ring around the power button that I just thought it looked nice. And the bezels are slim enough, the screen feels like it goes edge to edge. If someone hands you this phone without telling you the price, I don't think anybody is guessing under 500 bucks. And then you turn the thing on. So the display is a 6.83 inches of AMOLED running at 120 hertz. The brightness is 3,500 nits at peak. So I use this, again, baseball's all my knowledge, that's what I spend all my time doing. I have baseball practice in full SoCal sun, and sort of without having to do that awkward kind of hand over the screen thing. The S25 Plus tops out around 2,600 nits, and the difference is real outside. And again, I'm using the S25 Plus because I don't have an S26 Plus to compare it with. Both are good displays. The POCO is noticeably better to use in daylight though. It's also an RGB light strip on the back that pulses notifications and charging and music. My kids love that. I kind of forgot about it, but it is kind of a cool feature that kind of separates it from other phones. The outside of this phone is not where the compromises are. And I think the question is what's happening on the inside. Under the hood is MediaTek's Dimensity 9500S, which is built on TSMC's 3 nanometer process. It's the same node as a Snapdragon 8 Elite in the S25 Plus. In benchmark testing, the Snapdragon still holds a pretty meaningful edge in multi-core throughout, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But in daily use, these two phones feel the same. Apps open incredibly fast. Multitasking is really smooth. Nothing hitches. I spent a week switching between them, and I was never once sitting there thinking the POCO felt slow. The one place you might notice this is in like 3 or 4 years with certain headroom that you might have for apps that come out from now to then. POCO has something called Wild Boost, pushes supported games to 120 frames per second with full res upscaling. It works. Whether you care about it, I don't know, it depends on how much you're gonna mobile game. Battery, as I thought where this phone sort of stopped being interesting and started being unreasonable. 8,500 milliamp hours. That's double the battery of like most smartphones now. It's the biggest battery POCO has ever shipped, and what it actually means in practice is 2 full days on a charge. When I finally needed juice, 100 watts got it to 50% in like 20 minutes. Reverse charging does 27 watts over a cable. I had a dead iPhone 17 that we've been testing in my bag and used a POCO to take it from 0 to 50% in like 20 minutes. S25 Plus does reverse charging too, but maxes out, I think, 4.5 watts. So that's barely enough to sort of slow the drain on another device, let alone actually charge it. The battery is the single biggest advantage the X8 Pro Max has over anything that I could find in its price range and over most phones at any price. So the Pro Max has a 50 megapixel main sensor with optical image stabilization and a 20 megapixel front camera. The photos are generally good for like social media stuff and sort of everyday like memory keeping. But once you've had the ability to jump between like focal lengths, giving it up was definitely a real adjustment. I've been shooting my boys' baseball games for years on phones with multiple cameras, and I did feel that loss, but I'd rather let you know that up front, that you find that out at like your kid's birthday party. The Pro Max starts at $469 for 12 gigs of RAM. And also, remember what RAM prices are now. You also get 256 gigs of storage. If you want to jump up, $529 for 512 gigs of storage. This is a new phone just coming out. So early bird pricing brings those down to $429 and $459. S25 Plus at 256 gigs is around $1,000, same for the S26. So you're looking at a $500 difference between these two phones. That's a lot of money. That's a car payment. That's family dinner out every week for a while. And at some point you have to ask what that extra money is buying you. And I want to spend real time on the X8 Pro 2. I think for a lot of people, this is probably the more interesting in the lineup. So the same 100 watt charging, same 27 watt reverse charging, same 120 hertz AMOLED display, 6,500 milliamp hour battery, glass back, metal frame, same water resistance, at 50 megapixel Sony sensor with OIS. Processor's different. It's got the Dimensity 8500 Ultra, which is a step below the Pro Max, but still capable. And it starts at $329. When people find out what I do for a living, they tend to ask me a lot of questions. I have a dad on my kid's baseball team who texts me every few months asking what phone to get. He does not care about benchmarks. He just wants something that works, takes decent pictures of his kids, and doesn't die on him at the end of the day. This is probably the phone I'm recommending to him. So there's an Iron Man edition, same internals as the X8 Pro, 12 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage at $399, but the design, the packaging, the custom UI are all Iron Man. If someone you know is like a Marvel fan, it's a real option at a fair price. One thing worth being honest about though before I wrap up is the software. So the X8 series, so all the X8 phones are running HyperOS. It's POCO and Xiaomi's Android, I guess skin? I don't know if you still call it a skin. It does get the job done. It's not bad, but it does not have the years of refinement that Samsung has put into One UI, and you will feel it in small ways. The AI features aren't as developed, the ecosystem is not as heavily integrated, and occasionally the software just reminds you that you're not on the Samsung. If all that stuff matters to you, I thought it was worth knowing going in. So here is where I land. Camera limitations on the Pro Max are real. No wireless charging, I felt that too. And software that's a step behind Samsung's. And I'm not waving off any of that. Remember the gameplay at the beginning. Most people pick phone A as the flagship. The bigger battery, the faster charging, the phone that can charge your other devices. And the instinct is right. That does sound like a better phone. The uncomfortable part is that for a lot of people, it actually is. The S25 Plus and the S26 Plus now are still great phones, and they win on camera and software polish. And if those are your priorities, then spend the money, you're gonna get great devices. But if you want a phone that lasts 2 days, charges in 20 minutes, and costs half as much, you picked the right phone at the beginning of this video, just didn't know it yet. If you want to learn more about any of the X8 series, got a link to them down below.